On today's show, the football team is home for a Dad's Weekend matchup with UCLA.
Men's basketball hosts the Eagles of Eastern Washington.
And the 18th ranked women's soccer team looks to begin their quest for a tournament run against Villanova.
All this and more on this Inside the Lines.
Good evening and welcome to Inside the Lines. I'm Michelle Ledka.
And I'm David Pete.
Thanks for joining us this evening. Well, the Cougars came out last weekend to try and reclaim some dignity as they took on Rick Neuheisel and the Bruins. Unfortunately, nothing seemed to go in their favor, even from the beginning with Toole out at quarterback and Marshall Lobelstahl back in. Let's take it now down to Martin Stadium. Things looked hopeful on the first play of the game as Lobelstahl completed to Jeffrey Solomonson. But unfortunately, this wasn't the Cougars' day, as 2 plays later, Lobelstahl's pass is picked off by Akeem Ayers, and it's the Bruins' ball. On the Washington State 27, Kevin Prince runs it back, and he fires it to Taylor Embry. Touchdown Bruins. Now here's probably the best play for the Cougars in the first quarter. That was Lobelstahl who handed it off to Tardy, who breaks through the defense and takes it down at the Washington State 33 for a 24-yard gain. Let's fast forward a bit now. Second quarter, Bruins are up 14-0. Now, isn't it the job of the quarterback to assist in touchdowns, not just do them himself? Well, apparently no one told Kevin Prince this as he breaks free, and yes, it's a 68-yard touchdown. Now, if only he could teach the Cougars how to do that. Later in the second now, it is Jonathan Franklin can't hold onto the ball and is recovered by Alex Hoffman-Ellis, but the Cougs could just not capitalize on the fumble. So we move to the third, Kevin Prince with the handoff to Damian Pigpen, trying to break through, swatted away, and UCL's on top of the recovery. Quarterback change now, Kevin Lapina in with the pass complete to Jared Carstetter for a 15-yard gain. Finally, some momentum for the Cougars. Let's see if they can get it going, but the momentum is just what they needed as WSU finally has a successful series and eliminated the shutout as the pass was complete to Solomon to get the Cougs on the board. Now, if you could only figure that they would be able to do this more often, I'm pretty sure that would be key. Hopefully they'll get that down by next season, though. Now, since that was probably the best play of the game for the Cougs, let's take a look at it one more time. We've got Lapina here to Solomon, and it is an absolute textbook play. Now that is something Paul Wolf should be proud of.
The Cougar soccer team opened play in the NCAA tournament with a matchup against Villanova. Villanova ended up outshooting the Cougars 16-9 during the game. Thank goodness shots don't count, however. What does count is a Mallory Fox goal with just 16 minutes left in regulation. The goal would give the Cougars a 1-0 lead and win, as they would tie a school record with 14 on the season. However, on a sadder note, the Cougars next took on number 19 Maryland and fell 1-0 on a Jasmine Spencer first half goal. The Cougars had 2 second half scoring chances on a corner kick from Mallory Fox and a Kirsten Dahlstrom shot that sailed wide of the box. Now, while the season comes to an end for the soccer girls, the Cougars have plenty to celebrate. Not only did they tie a school record with 14 wins, but set a school record posting 11 shutouts, making it to consecutive NCAA tournaments for the first time, and reaching the second round for the second time in school history, and the first since 1994. So from all of us here at Inside the Lines, we would like to congratulate the women's soccer team on a tremendous season.
And now for a Seattle Mariners update. Shortstop Jack Wilson has been signed to a 2-year contract with the M's. The Mariners acquired Wilson from the Pirates right before last season's trade deadline, along with pitcher Ian Snell in exchange for shortstop Ronnie Cedeno, first baseman and catcher Jeff Clement, and 3 minor league pitchers. GM Zach Zorenzik says the team acquired Jack Wilson. They envisioned that he would be a key part of the ball club over the next few years. Wilson signed for an undisclosed amount due to team policy.
All right, now Cougar basketball fans everywhere are excited to see a fast-paced run-and-gun style with tons of points and lots of speed. However, the new Ken Bowman offense still has a few kinks to be worked out. The Cougars hosted the Eagles of Eastern Washington last Monday at Beasley Gym, and they were looking for another high-scoring matchup. However, this wasn't the case. The Eastern Eagles took a quick advantage, and the Cougs looked a little bit lackluster as they were outscored by the Eagles, who sat on a lead for much of the first half. Klay Thompson started cold, going 0 for 6 from the floor for the night, and as we found out, as Klay goes, so do the Cougs. Thompson came alive late, however, in the first half, hitting threes on consecutive possessions to give the Washington State Cougars a 3-point halftime lead. And after a quick halftime, the Cougs came out on fire, at one point stretching the lead to 13. However, the Eagles just wouldn't go away. Eagles closed the lead to just 62-61 with under a minute 30 left in the game. And then Klay Thompson happened, hitting a three with less than a minute left. After a turnover at the other end, freshman Reggie Moore hit a pair of free throws to put the game out of reach for the Eagles, as the Cougs would go on to win 67-61. D'Angelo Casto added 16, and Reggie Moore had 15 to add also, none bigger than the last two to ice the game for the Cougars' second win of the season. Cougars next hosted Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, no, not two teams, just one, on Thursday before leaving for the Great Alaskan Shootout, and this just in one, 89-70.
In more national news, the first mid-season head coach firing in the NFL took place on Tuesday. Owner Ralph Wilson was the first to pull the trigger when he fired Buffalo Bills head coach Jake Jerome. The Bills went 24-33 under Jerome's 4-year stint in Buffalo. Defensive coordinator Perry Fewell was named interim head coach Tuesday afternoon, becoming the team's first black head coach. The Bills have spoke to ex-Broncos coach Mike Shanahan about the position and will look to seek other candidates from around the league. With other big-name coaches that recently left the NFL are John Gruden, Tony Dungy, and ex-Seahawks coach Mike Holmgren. Now we're going to toss it to Julie Burton, who will be hosting this week's edition of Face Off.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Face Off. I'm Julia Burton, and with me tonight is defending champ Zach Cecil, and to my right, making his official debut, Nero 3. There's a lot going on in the sports world right now, so let's get to it. Never mind the Cougar football's game this weekend against Oregon State. Let's talk Apple Cup. Who's going to win? Let's start with Nero.
All right, well, as much as it hurts me to say, UW's going to win this game. They're better on both sides of the ball than Wazoo. There's better coaching. UW has better coaching, a better offensive line, everything. Pretty much when you look at UW football, they're just better than Wazoo. And there's nothing that Wazoo's done this year that's proven to me that they can beat UW in this game. They're 1-9 on the season. I can't. As much as it hurts me to say, UW's going to win it.
Well, I agree with you that UW probably is the better team, top to bottom. It is a home game for them, but it's a rivalry game. These games the past couple of years have always been close, and I look at UW has another game after this. They play 25 Cal, ranked number 25 Cal. They might be looking past to a much more important game, and WSU could easily come in there and steal another victory, and who knows, maybe Coach preparing for UW all season, and I don't think that UW's defense is that great. They've been giving up a lot of points lately, and their season's been a complete disappointment. They bring in this new coach and everything, and it's supposed to be the resurrection of UW, and it hasn't been that way. And they might not even really want to come out and play that hard, and WSU could steal this.
Wazoo's won the last two Apple Cups, so I don't think UW's going to overlook this game. This is a game that they really want to take. Jake Locker,